name is Sarah Geis, and I'm the Senior Director of Engagement for the ARC Master Trust, and I want to thank you all for watching our webinar and video series. As a reminder, all of our webinars are recorded and available on our website to view or share at any time. So to share this webinar with others or to view past webinars, please visit thearctrust.org and click on the Webinar and Videos tab in the banner. So in today's webinar, we will be talking about how to set up a special needs trust with the ARC Master Trust. We'll be reviewing the steps, helpful information on how to fill out the enrollment forms, and what happens after you've sent everything in. So we strive to make the enrollment process as easy and straightforward as possible. For both our Trust 1 and Trust 2 accounts, there are only a few simple steps. For Trust 1, to set up this trust, we will need the completed enrollment forms and the enrollment fee. These forms are also known as the joinder agreement, and you'll see joinder agreement at the top of the page on the enrollment forms. These forms are available to print on our website, and we can also mail or provide you with a paper copy of these forms. The completed forms and the enrollment fee can be mailed to our office, and the enrollment fee and fee information is also available on our website. The fee can be paid in installments at a schedule that is best for you, and we can also accept the enrollment fee either by card or by check. If you are sending in a check, this can be made payable to the ARC of Indiana. Please include the name of the beneficiary on the memo line of the check. If the trust is going to be funded at the time of enrollment, we can deduct the fee from the funds received. If the beneficiary has a power of attorney or legal guardian, we'll also want a copy of this information on file for our records. For Trust 2, we'll also need the completed Trust 2 joinder agreement, and this can also be found on our website. We will also need a check, cashier's check, or money order for the funds that are going to be used for the initial deposit for Trust 2. There's no required dollar amount for the initial funding, and like Trust 1, if the beneficiary has a power of attorney or legal guardian, we will also want a copy of this information on file for our records. If a Trust 2 account is being funded through a lawsuit settlement, we will also want to have a copy of the court order for our records. So now we're going to jump into how to fill out the enrollment forms and answer some frequently asked questions. We'll start with Trust 1 first, and then we'll take a look at Trust 2. The first page of the Trust 1 forms asks for information about the donors, and the donors are going to be the individuals who are contributing their money into this trust. There are 2 spots on the forms to include donors, and you can add more donors if you would like. Not everyone who wants to contribute to the trust needs to be listed formally as a donor. However, the individuals who are listed as donors on the enrollment forms will be the ones who are going to be authorized to make changes to trust information once the trust has been established. Section D is the page where we ask for information about the beneficiary, and the beneficiary is going to be the person who will be benefiting from the financial resources in the trust. So the beneficiary information and their contact information is what we're asking for in Section D. Section E is where we ask for information about the current benefits that the beneficiary is receiving. If the beneficiary is receiving SSI, but you don't know their local SSI office, that is okay. You can leave that section blank. If the beneficiary receives another Social Security benefit, such as SSDI, Social Security retirement, survivor's benefits, or others, you will check yes under number 2. Number 3 in this section is where we ask about the beneficiary's Medicaid benefits. The Medicaid card number is the 12-digit number that is found on the beneficiary's Medicaid card, and the Medicaid case number is usually found on the upper right-hand corner of letters received by FSSA. We only need either the card number or the case number. It is not necessary to have both. In sections F and G, we are asking these questions so that they will help inform us know when we should anticipate the trust being funded, how the trust is going to be funded, and if you would want the funds in the trust to be used at the time of funding. So the difference between distributions authorized and distributions deferred is if you would want disbursements to be able to be made once the trust is funded, and that's called authorized. Or if for any reason, if there should be a hold on disbursements made from the trust once it is funded, and that would be known as deferred. Sometimes individuals will want disbursements to be put on hold until a certain year, time, or age of the beneficiary. If the donors do want the beneficiary to be able to utilize the funds in the trust once the trust is funded, it would be best to initial under distributions authorized. Under method G, or method source of funding, section G, number 4 does ask about the anticipated contributions into the beneficiary's trust. That helps us estimate what the dollar amount is going to be. If the donors do not know what the anticipated dollar amount is going to be, that is okay. You are welcome to leave this section blank. It's also important to know that we will establish a Trust 1 account for individuals regardless of the dollar amount that is coming into the trust. We do have a threshold balance, though, if the trust is going to be invested. Currently, this is $30,000. If a trust has a balance that is less than this, the trust will still be established. However, it would not be invested. So when you're looking at number 5, please know and remember that we are happy to establish a trust regardless of the amount for any individual. However, we do have a threshold when it comes to if the trust is eligible for investment. Section 8 is where the donors can include individuals who should be listed as key people. Key people are individuals that would be authorized to contact the ArcMaster Trust to receive information about the trust, to make requests for disbursements made from the trust account, and to receive statements about the account balance. There are 4 spots for key people on the forms. You do not need to fill out all 4, and you can include a separate page if you'd like to include more key people. If the beneficiary should also have access to contact us or to make requests, they should also be listed as a key person. On the right side of this section, you can choose which key people receive potential tax information, a yearly mailing to ensure the account information is accurate, as well as mailed statements that show the account activity. Key people can also have access to our online trust portal, and this portal allows you to access information about the account, see transactions, and make disbursement requests online. A key person can have both online access and mailed statements. Key people are also welcome to change over time, and if you want to make any edits or changes, you are welcome to do so. If the trust is established but there is no money in it, we would only communicate with the individuals listed as the donors of the trust. Once the trust is funded, key people are also able to make edits and additions to the key people information. Section I is where the donors will list who should receive any remaining funds from the trust should the initial beneficiary pass away. We call these folks remaindermen. If there are not enough spaces in the forms, donors are welcome to include a blank page. There is no requirement that any funds remain with the ArcMaster Trust. However, you can include the Arc Trust or the Arc of Indiana if you would like as a remainderman. Remaindermen can also include families, friends, nonprofit organizations, or religious organizations. Sometimes donors will ask if the beneficiaries can have input on where their remaining funds go to, and this can be an option, and a member of the trust team can let you know how to include this when you're filling out the forms. Section J is where the donors will list any specifics about how they envision the trust being used for the beneficiary's benefit. Donors are also welcome to include more information and be as detailed as they would like. By initialing on these lines, the donors are stating that they are letting the trust be an option for payment, not that the trust would be required to pay. For example, number 1 talks about a scenario where the beneficiary might receive a bill for medical expenses. The beneficiary's insurances have been billed and there is still a remaining copay. By initialing on this line, the donors are then saying that the trust can be an option to pay that bill should that scenario happen. And on the last page of the forms, the individuals listed as formal donors on the first page would sign on the last page. So that was the information on how to fill out the Trust 1 enrollment forms, and now we'll review how to fill out the Trust 2 enrollment forms. So on the first page, we also have sections A and C that's filled out by the ARC Master Trust. You do not need to fill those out. Section D, we are also asking for the beneficiary's name, and this is still going to be the person who will be benefiting from the trust. So we'll still want all of the information like we did on the Trust 1 forms. Same with Trust 1, we do ask in Section E about the benefits that the beneficiary is receiving, so you'll want to include all of that information there. Just like with Trust 1, under number 3, where we ask for both the Medicaid card number or case number, we only need one or the other. We do not need both. Section F is where we can include information about the key people. This is going to be anyone that the beneficiary trusts to be able to reach out to us on their behalf. Again, if the beneficiary believes that they are going to be the person who is going to be reaching out to the ARC Master Trust for themselves, they should also be listed as a key person. Trust 2 accounts are required to follow a federal law that's called Medicaid Estate Recovery. This is also sometimes known as Medicaid Payback. And this states that when a special needs trust is funded with the beneficiary's own money, that upon the beneficiary's passing, the funds left in the trust must go back to the state to reimburse the state's Medicaid program for the money it spent on the beneficiary during the beneficiary's lifetime from the establishment date of the trust. In an overwhelming majority of Trust 2 accounts, when the beneficiary passes, the remaining funds are subject to this estate recovery. But even though this is the case, Medicaid does require that the beneficiary list who they would want remaining funds to go to should there be funds that can be passed on to someone else. Just like with Trust 1, the beneficiary can choose to include family, friends, nonprofit organizations, or religious organizations as the remaindermen of this trust account. On the last page, we would need a signature from the appropriate person who is able to establish the trust. So first and foremost, this can be either the beneficiary, their legal guardian, a parent or grandparent who can sign the Trust 2 enrollment forms. If the beneficiary is a minor, so someone under the age of 18, the parent or grandparent or parents or natural guardians or legal guardian must sign the joinder agreement. The minor child cannot sign the joinder agreement to open the account. If the beneficiary is over the age of 18 and does not have a legal guardian or a power of attorney, then the beneficiary themselves, their parent or grandparent would be able to sign. If there is a guardian of estate or full legal guardian or power of attorney, they will be the individuals who will be asked to sign the joinder agreement. If there is only a guardian of person for the beneficiary, they may sign the joinder agreement where indicated. So then what happens once all of this information is turned in? So like the beginning, the enrollment forms plus the funds to be deposited into the trust can be sent to the ARC Master Trust. It does take us about no more than 10 business days to process the enrollment forms. What we're also doing at that time is notifying any necessary government agencies that the trust has been established and why it does not impact that person's benefits. With Trust 1, once it has been set up, we will be notifying the donors that the account has been established. Those donors will also receive information about the account number that has been assigned to the beneficiary, as well as copies of the documents that they have signed. If the trust is funded, we will be notifying both the donors, if applicable, and the key people who have been listed on the forms. And what those individuals will be receiving is the account number for the trust, as well as the contact information for their account manager. The account manager is going to be the point person that the key people and our donors can talk to when the trust is going to be utilized to pay for goods and services. They'll also receive a copy of the enrollment forms and a welcome guide that provides a lot of helpful information about the ArcMaster Trust. In Trust 2, we will be notifying the key people that the account is active, and they will also receive the account number, information about the account manager, copies of those enrollment forms, as well as the welcome guide. We will be sending this information to key people and donors in the method of contact preference that they have indicated in the enrollment forms. So if a key person has elected to only receive mailed information, they will only receive mailed information when the trust has been established. If someone has elected to receive emailed information and online access, they'll receive this information via email. If a key person would prefer to have both emailed and mailed information when the account has been established, please include that in the form so that we know to give you all of the information you need in the methods that you want them. And thank you all again for watching, and I hope you have found this information informative. If you have any questions or would like to learn more, please feel welcome to visit us at our website, feel welcome to email or call us, or visit us on social media.